Greetings. A really good question's come up this week via Paul. Thanks for your question, Paul. Or a point that you made. Sorry, and this is what's really important is I'm not arguing with the point that you have raised. It's absolutely valid, which is with craft beer, why would you pay £3 plus for a can of beer if you're used to and have been used to over many years perhaps drinking £1.50 cans of beer or bottles of beer. £1.50 gets you a really good bottle of beer. So I hope to try and kind of like explain why you do it, because I perfectly understand if it's not for you. You can get this beer as a hazy pale ale in Asda, and you get it for £1.50 a can. And in fairness, you can get more beer than this, a 330ml can. You can get more beer than this for £1.50 or close to it. You can still get Steam Brew in 500ml, which is 5% from Lidl's, and is excellent beer. This one is, like I say, hazy pale. It is brewed by 4Pure Brewing Company, who are a good brewery. Asda have contract brewed them to make this. They've been making it for over a year, I think, and when I've had it, it's been really good. Now, I'll show you the pour, because craft beer tends to be very specific on what it's going to taste like, what it's going to smell like. It's made in a particular way by a small brewery normally, and with this you can see it pours a lovely amber hazy colour. Well, amber colour, and is hazy. Can't see a lot through that. And you swill it round, and because it's unfiltered, what you're looking to do with this is get as much of the sediment in it as possible, because that's where all the flavour is. And if you drink filtered beer normally in a pub, and you've got a pint that was cloudy like that, you might send it back. But this unfiltered beer has come to the fore, certainly the last 5 years, and I for one really like it. And as I mentioned, for £1.50 you used to be able to get this from Asda on a 4 for 3 deal as well, so you could get 4 tins of it for £4.50, which is why you could never find it in there, but they've stopped doing that, so now you can get it. Hazy pale, you get a smell of lovely deep fruity pineapple chunks kind of smell, with a little bit of mango, and it's kind of like got a really nice sticky edge, but it's not over sweet smelling, because you can it's clean, and it's got kind of like that citrusy tang's going to come through from a bit of orange peel kind of flavour. Anyway, your good health. I haven't had this in a year, but that's still pretty good. It's, as I described on the aroma, tastes a little bit of that, pineapple-y. It's got a really nice bitter back end. So the sweetness with beer, I find that with if the beer is kind of sweet like this, what you really can benefit from is that back end that kind of like washes that sweetness away, so it's not tart, it's not like cidery or anything like that. It's still proper beer. So lovely. £1.50 a tin from Asda. Chuck them in your fridge. I've had this one at the freezer to really cool it down quick tonight, and it's delicious. Anyway, why you may want to go bigger than that, moving on. Empty glass. One £3 can of beer. I picked this up from Asda. I'm going to pour this into the glass. I did read it briefly, but I've forgotten what it is. I do know from the side, from the blurb on the side, that it's won an award. It's won some gold award. is a West Coast IPA. So it's going to be similar to the beer that I poured out earlier in appearance, maybe slightly more of a coppery colour. Now, what does upgrading on the amount that you're spending on a beer buy you these days? I liken it to wine. Thing is, I'm pouring that out there, and by comparison to the £1.50 can that I just talked about, I can smell that already. The aroma is so much more powerful. So there's a lot more ingredients in it. You're paying for better quality ingredients, or if you know what you're buying, you should be, because for £3 you can get some absolutely rotten beer. You can get some disgusting stuff that doesn't even deserve to be drunk by anyone. Avoid anything that's kind of like ice cream IPA or this. If it's basic West Coast IPA, New England IPA, give it a go, but do not try novelty beers. This is maintaining the head, it's holding on to the head. Paul is nicely carbonated, but I can smell that. From a West Coast IPA, what you're expecting is that it's going to have some of the characteristics that I've talked about before, some mango, some pineapple, but it's going to be sharper, it's going to be a bit more piney, it's going to be more bitter up front. The other one's quite sweet up front. This one, it'll have all those tastes, but the bitterness will cut through that straight away, and then it should wash through with real strong bitterness. It's Big Eagle by Brew York, 6.4%. The other thing that you're paying for is for stronger beer. Now 6.4% used to be the case. You'd be buying beers like that, and you'd be, back in the day, strong beers were for our fallen comrades on the park benches, you know, bless them. They're not anymore. A stronger beer. You don't want to quaff too many of these because it does knock you out, but you see what I have to go through this early in the evening? But so the smell is far more towards a kind of like resiny, piney smell, but it does have the pineapple in there as well. I'm going to go in. You good health. Wow. So straight away, the other beer was good, don't get me wrong, but this has taken it up to a different level. The flavour's much more pronounced. It's really, really nice, this, actually, for a West Coast IPA, and the same as the others, you know, the other one. Give her a swill and get everything in there, because if you're lucky, there's sediment stuff. The bitter finish to this is similar to the one from the £1.50 tin, but for the fact that this is more pronounced, is stronger, it lasts longer, and it is better. The flavour is not completely dissimilar, but it is better. It's stronger flavour, it lasts longer, you get more from it. I can still taste that lovely bitter finish even now, and that's the difference. That's why you pay more for beer, is because it's gone the same as wine. It never used to be the case with beer. You used to buy bitter, lager, and then there'd be a choice of a couple of stronger lagers or stronger bitters on the pump in the pub, and probably Guinness, and that'd be it. These days the variety is off the scale, and the quality is so much better than it's ever been. So, but the case is, if you want quality, especially with the cost of living crisis and everything going up in price, you do have to pay for it. You used to be able to pick up similar stuff to this, you know, as one-offs really cheap. You can't now. £3 for this is frankly really good, because an Asda is the place to go for these. It's a good 50p, a quid cheaper than Tesco's. Tesco's got some nice stuff in it. Morrison's has gone off the boil, I'm finding. The other good one is Sainsbury's. So if you're tempted, something like Big Eagle, West Coast IPA, £3, buy yourself 1 can of it, just to give it a go. You don't have to buy 6 or 7. Buy your normal stuff, but treat yourself to a can and see what you think compared to cheaper beer. I'd love to know your thoughts. And with that, I'm gonna really savour this. That's cracking beer. That is really good West Coast IPA. For good health.